What are synthetic identities and how are criminals creating fake people with AI? Let's check out YouTube. Complete bot. He really is not real. And she's really not real either. Super weird, bro. What the hell's going on? Okay. Let's go
dropping your flat of identities. A Polish engineer and investor has been making headlines by using a language model like ChatGPT's system. That sell you FDPNs.
Okay, so is this true? First thing we ran into is that AI generated passports are happening. Is this a thing? Is this actually a thing? Oh. It's a widely available tool. Upload a photo, which is then automatically processed to meet the standards of countries, and they make a photo. Okay, so this is your passport photo makers. Okay, that's fine. That's legal. That's illegal too. To make a passport photo is one thing, but to generate an actual passport? Compliance check. Okay, what the hell is going on with compliance checks? So I'm looking at an article. I'm looking at articles. Interesting. So everyone's looking at this same Boris Musielek thing. Everyone's looking at this Boris Musielek thing, and this is showing like how to verify biometric authenticity. So these are tools. This is actually something that we can look at later on. This is a part of like how we can check if something is fake or not. So like, it seems that people are actually generating passports and generating identities. All fraudsters use voice cloning AI to scam man out of $25,000. Yep. Let's check this out. What's up, Austin Lee?
Hey everyone, my name is Austin Lee and I am an expert in fraud prevention. I'll be talking to you today about synthetic identity fraud, what it is and how to prevent it. One important key piece in synthetic identity fraud. With synthetic identity, it's a fictitious identity, either completely fictitious or it's mingled together from different attributes of real people. And in that instance, the bank is the victim. So that's why they call it first party.
Interesting. So like, okay, first party fraud, they are making up a fake identity and then they go to the bank and they somehow are doing something with the bank and the bank is the victim because it seems that they're losing money. That's what it seems like.
How a synthetic identity is created is a little complex because it can happen in a few different ways. One is called piggybacking. So when you get on a credit card as an authorized user, due to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you gain that access to the credit line.
Interesting. So in the United States, if you piggyback onto someone else's credit as like a secondary person that's allowed to use that credit card, you are suddenly a real human being in the credit bureaus and it boosts your credit.
So another example of how a fictitious account may be made is they start to take different real attributes of real people. So for example, they could take address, social security number, phone number, things like that.
And we know damn well that that information has been leaked for billions of people to date.
To piecemeal together a Frankenstein identity in that synthetic identity perpetrator. And what happens here is that it looks like there's enough information about that particular person for them to be real. So in these two instances, they're a little bit different and they can be very, very complex in how they evolve because it's a slow rolling fraud. Typically banks, 95% of banks don't catch synthetic identity through the credit card application process, which is huge.
Through a credit card application. So these people are somehow opening bank accounts and getting credit cards using a fake identity, like a person that doesn't even exist. And 95% of them are not caught is nuts.
Application process, which is huge. And a lot of times people don't realize that those are synthetic identities until the individual what they call bust out or spends their limit on their credit card. And
Yo, banks are getting cooked. Credit cards are like the most cooked by fraud. We've seen like billions and billions of credit card fraud and scams in the last couple weeks. And now here's just another angle that they're hitting these damn credit cards with a fake identity, with an AI generated identity.
To dive in a little bit deeper on 3 different ways to look and capture synthetic identity fraud. One is getting a 360 view. So having a tool that can help you detect identifiers, whether they're shared address, shared device with login activity, things like that, that will help you understand if this is a real person, because it doesn't make sense for an individual to have multiple different identities using the same device.
Fair point. But that is a lot to ask for a random bank to do that. It's kind of invasive too. Unless they're using your banking app, that's different. That's actually not invasive at all. You have a device fingerprint and you can see that like if 10 different accounts, if 10 different identities are logging into your same banking app from the same device, red flag.
Analysts and data scientists, it's really important to gather credit bureau information and credit bureau data. And again, using the graphical link, you can start to detect and find high risk synthetic identity fraud. And then the third piece is just fraudulent connections. This one seems very simple, but it's really hard to detect. If you're just looking at this person at their own credit bureau profile, you're looking at their possible LexisNexis account, you're looking at all of their identity information. But if they're connected to a fraudulent or multiple fraudulent accounts by address or device, those become suspicious identifiers.
This is really interesting. How much money is lost to synthetic identity scams, banks, credit cards? Let's see how much money is lost to this. Did someone make a number? Okay, so Money 2020, what's behind the rise in synthetic identity fraud? TransUnion themselves are talking about this. TransUnion that got hacked today. Damn. Look at this, guys. TransUnion got cooked today. Where are they? Dude, TransUnion got cooked today, bro. This is such a big name. This is like one of the biggest global credit reporting agencies. And we're back to watch how they got cooked in other ways. Poor guys are getting hit from every angle. Poor multi-billion-dollar corporation is getting a hit from every angle. Okay. So funny enough, they posted this on, I think, around the same time they got cooked, which is 2 days after. 2 days after they got cooked by shiny hunters, they posted this article. And I've actually been to the Money 2020 conference in Amsterdam. Good times. Oh my goodness, bro. Identity and fraud were front and center as major challenges faced by the industry. Specifically, synthetic identity fraud was again a hot topic. Not surprising, since this type of fraud is expected to generate at least $23 billion in losses by 2030. That is massive. That is way too big, bro. That is way too much. $23 billion? You could pay every person on planet Earth like $3. Men, women, and children. What is synthetic identity fraud? So there's no common definition for synthetics, even within the same organization. They're just a fake person that somehow creates enough of a paper trail and identity that you think they're real and they're legit. And once an account is created with synthetic identity, fraudsters may immediately choose to take the money, or they maintain the account in good standing while building up credit history. These are sneaky, sneaky bastards. So when synthetic accounts finally default, there's also no common way financial institutions categorize this loss. They don't know where to put that loss. They never pay early life defaults, straight rollers, bust outs. They make monthly payments until they max the loan amount and stop making payments, typically over a 2-year time period. Quick overextension of credit. With no agreed upon definition and understanding of synthetic identity, the Fed Payment Improvement Initiative, part of the Federal Reserve Bank, undertook the task of coming up with a universal definition industry can use. The definition is the use of a combination of personally identifying information data to fabricate a person or entity in order to commit a dishonest act for personal or financial gain. This is crazy. So they use stolen social security numbers to compile new Frankenstein identities. So classic Classic situation. Look at this. This is what's going to happen as a result of all of this leaked data. Okay. Mark my words right here. I mean, I don't think they're going to do it with these guys because they're already on record. But for example, on Pandora. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Pandora, they got 34 million records of personally identifying information. They didn't get social security numbers. Where did they get social security numbers? Google AdSense. I believe they got some social security numbers here. They did not. But any one of these that they got social security numbers from the users, people are going to do this. So other people who are crooks, if this information gets leaked by shiny hunters, they're going to go and take those stolen social security numbers. They're going to take those stolen other things like addresses and phone numbers and all of these details that like you could realistically go and create a fake identity from. They make the Frankenstein identity. They are used to apply for accounts with a low barrier to entry. Springboarding is done off established accounts by adding an authorized user. Credit is patiently built over time. All available credit is maxed out and fraudster disappears. So they get some money in between here. They establish an account. It looks like a long running thing. Like some of these instances, they're doing this over 2 years. Over a 2-year time period, they are slowly pulling money out in a net negative for the bank. Data breaches. So a perfect storm around synthetics has developed in the past decade. How do these identities happen? Okay. Data breaches. Organized crime rings have an unprecedented amount of data at their disposal to fuel their identity compilation and identity manipulation efforts. Yes, this is in fact true. We found that billions of people have been leaked in the past 5-6 years. This shit is crazy. Okay. Consumer social engineering scams. This is when you get those calls and they try to steal information from you. They try to convince you of certain things. SSN randomization. They use tools to they use tools to create fake social security numbers that look completely legit. You know, a tool like this exists for credit card, and I'm going to show you guys a quick trick here. Visa card number generator. Okay, so these don't have any money in them. These are not legit. You can't use this to scam anybody, so don't try, please. You're going to waste your time. But the formula, the algorithm that Visa and MasterCard and whoever else uses, like look, American Express, China, Union Pay, MasterCard, the formula that they use to generate a card, and when they check this pattern is public. It's like this is no secret. So similarly, people use this for like free trials. That's like kind of like the gray zone neutral way to use this without being like a weirdo. But they'll take this and they'll put it into those things that require those apps or things that require you to put a credit card number to start a 7-day free trial or a 30-day free trial. People generate these numbers and they use it for that. I'm not saying you should do this. Please do not do this. You don't need to do it. Just enter your own damn card number and cancel it. But if you really need to, for whatever reason, generate a test credit card number, then you can do this. Similarly, these guys are saying that social security numbers since 2011 have been like use a randomization algorithm to randomize the issuance of social security numbers. The point here is that since the Social Security Administration stopped using sequential numbers, it's now really difficult to check the validity of a social security number at the time of account onboarding. So organizations that serve higher risk individuals with little or no credit history are super exposed to synthetic identities, because once established at one organization, the criminal can use that synthetic identity to attack any organization. They come in through these low barrier to entry orgs. So credit repair agencies abounded over the past decade, offering credit profile numbers, CPNs. They use they sold these 9-digit numbers to consumers with bad credit to get a fresh start. They're often also used by undocumented immigrants to access credit. The intent is to obfuscate the creditors' inquiries to credit bureaus and establish a new records for customers. So yes, I've heard of this. I'm pretty sure this is like a gray area and kind of illegal to do. A CPN, I don't think is a legit thing, credit profile number. And GenAI deepfakes, classic issue. So what is lost to identity theft? Currently, in the United States alone, TransUnion's internal analysis shows that U.S. lenders are exposed. Credit cards, auto loans, they're stealing cars out here with fake identities. It's crazy, bro. Personal loans, retail cards totaled $3.3 billion in potential losses at the end of 2024. That's an increase of 3% over the end of 2023 and an all-time high going back to TransUnion's first measurement in 2009. Based on the percentage, 0.32% of attempted account openings with synthetic identities, the market faces continued threat of charge-offs in the future. Like people not paying their loans back. While auto loans continue to represent the largest exposure by trade, people getting loans for cars, incidences of synthetic identities in bank card credit union inquiries was the highest among credit type analysis, surpassing 1% at the end of 2024, a first since TransUnion began reporting these. So I get it. I understand. The basics here is people are making these things. So using stolen info, creating Frankenstein identities, and taking out loans, basically.